For those who are familiar with my work, you know that I'm often pointing to various kind of doorways into what it is that all of this incredible multiplicity, the appearance of this reality, which in all of its diversity and seeming distinction and difference, what does it all have in common, in a sense? What is it that every piece of this diverse display shares at its basis in common? And so I'm going to use one word to point to that common denominator of everything, and that is experience. It's a wonderful word. I love the word. And in a sense, it feels like it captures what's happening here, which is experience. What is experience? Well, can't really say, but it seems like a good word. And so I just want to explore this experience that's here, this flow of experiencing. It really very much feels like a flow. And you can explore this with your eyes open or closed. It doesn't really matter. And there isn't anything else to explore but experience. What else are we going to explore? But by exploring what's here experientially, what's showing up as what we might call experience, we can discover a number of ways that experience can be encountered, engaged with, that reveal how it's quite a bit different than we typically conceive of it to be. I mean, our ordinary conceptions of experience are kind of consensus reality, ways that experiencing is interpreted, what's happening here, my life, the world, and so on. They have their own reality in a sense. You know, we think of them as frames of reference, the interpretations that we bring to experience. And those frames of reference give us this sense of this is how it is, and then we kind of experience it in the context of those frames of reference. As I said, as I'm a human living in a world, being kind of the most basic sort of description of this experience. Well, I want to just begin by inviting you to notice how experience is just here. It's here. It's just appearing inexplicably. And the experiencing, the flow of experiencing that's occurring right now is occurring effortlessly, isn't it? Even if we feel as if we're making effort somehow to be with experience or notice experience, or the entire flow of experiencing is just occurring. It's like it's just on. It's like an engine running. The engine's already going. You know, we don't have to turn the key to make experience happen. The engine of experience is running effortlessly, spontaneously, isn't it? Feel that. And really, all that I'm pointing to in terms of experience right now, the place to look is, of course, in your experience, rather than just meeting the concepts that I might be using to talk about experience. Feel how this is here without you having to do something to make this be here. Seeing is happening effortlessly, hearing, touching, thinking, feeling, all of it occurring effortlessly, isn't it? One of the most obvious things about experience, that when we really let this sink in to the bones, if you will, that really flies in the face of consensus reality notions that we hold, and really the entire edifice of conceptualizing and language. And that is the absolute dynamism of this experiencing. I'm using that verb, experiencing, rather than experience, because it feels much more like a dynamism. It really is not a fixed thing that we could call experience. It's somehow sitting there. It doesn't, there's no sense of it sitting there in some kind of fixed, frozen way. It's on the move, isn't it? Feel the perceiving, the experiencing, how as you're experiencing what we would call the moment, it's in a process, in the immediacy of its becoming, in the immediacy of its appearance as what we would call experience, it is becoming something else. It's forming. It's not really taking a particular shape and then stopping, right? I happen to be looking at a body of water right now. I'm in Sausalito at a friend's, and I'm just watching the water, and I could try to imagine the water just suddenly just stopping its movement. It's moving towards the shore in this beautiful flow. It's just very gentle little waves. And the whole thing is so alive. It's moving. It's not. So this is just very much like our experience. And this term that we hear in the spiritual traditions of, the ungraspability of this experience. We might imagine, and conventionally speaking, that we can grab hold of experience and then talk about it, make sense of it, right? Modify it, do all these various things, analyze it. But if you feel experience as you are feeling, this is all we're ever doing, is feeling this flow of experiencing. It's just like the water that's just moving by. It's not, if I were trying to pinpoint a point, I wish you could see what I'm seeing. If I turn my camera around, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but probably not. I'll just turn it around here for a second. That's what I'm looking at. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the water moving. And it's like, if you were trying to imagine, you're going to call the moment like a point in that water that you're just going to identify, like, there's the moment, like now. And it's like, it's moving, right? So there's no point really where now the moment of experiencing stops and you can identify it. And this is incredible to just feel how there's this beautiful term I only know it from the Tibetan traditions, where they talk about the self-release of everything. That what appears releases upon arising. So this moment of experience is releasing, in a sense. It's in the very moment of its appearance, it's gone, going. You could say it's in a state of constant going away, constant becoming. This is truly incredible. Feel this. How entirely the freedom in immediate perception is one way I heard it. In the moment of the perception arising, it is free. It's liberated, gone, released. Notice how there's really no location of experience. We can talk about experiencing happening here, this sense of being somehow localized, right? But if your eyes are open, everywhere you're looking that you might typically think of as somewhere else over there is being experienced, right? So the experience is always here. It's always taking place here. But what does here even mean? When there's no there, there's no over there in experience, is there? It's all here. In a sense, here is meaningless. You can't really tell where experience is coming from, where it's located. It's non-dimensional in that sense, or non-spatial. Feel that you can't tell where experience is or is not. We could say, maybe in the simplest way, the experience is everywhere. It's omnipresent. There's nothing but experience. Even if you were to imagine somehow venturing outside of experience, like as if there's some place where experience isn't, and you were to arrive at that place where experience, like beyond the horizon of experience, and you got beyond the horizon of experience, of course, you could only know that as more experience, you see? So you can't get out of this bubble of experiencing. In that sense, the bubble of your experience has no boundary to it. You feel that? Feel how there's no boundary, there's no end to your experience. Incredible, isn't it? It's endless. Strangely, as much as you can't locate a moment that holds still long enough to locate it, in other words, it's here for no time, in another sense, the moment has no end to it either. It's always now, this flow of experiencing. It's not occurring in some past, it's occurring now. It's not occurring in some future. It's occurring in this flash. So this field of experiencing has no end, no border, no clear location. It's omnipresent, it's everywhere. And in a sense, nowhere, in the sense of you can't pinpoint where it is. But it's here. It's palpably present. You just can't quite say where it's coming from, where it exists, where it doesn't exist. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look, everywhere you see, everywhere you hear. Notice how there's not someone apart from the experience. Even if you imagined yourself somehow being the observer of experience, somehow, the perceiver of experiencing, any way that you might, you could think of yourself, you could feel yourself, you could touch yourself, all of that is more experience, isn't it? So what we are is just simply this flow of experiencing, absolutely inseparable from, there's nothing outside of us. We are, we could say, the entirety of experience. Because in experience, maybe conceptually, we can certainly conceive of ourselves being the observer, the one who, the experiencer, at the center of experience, at the center of the field or the bubble of experiencing. There we are, right? Everything revolving around us, all this experience. The thoughts are happening to me, the feelings, sensations, the memories, the images are being perceived by me. This is the ordinary sense we have, often the sense we have, but can you actually find some bounded creature at the center of this field of experiencing, or do you just find experience at the center of experience? If I feel, even if I feel what I might typically think of as an aspect, a key aspect of the individual, let's say the body, and I feel the body as experience. And then I feel the sounds of the water that I would think of as outside of the body. Those experiences are just absolutely blended. There's no division anywhere. There's no separation anywhere. Notice how the flow of experiencing is completely unconditioned. In other words, it's not dependent upon the particular ways it seems to be based on how it's appearing, how we may be describing it, right? The flow of experiencing is the flow of experiencing no matter how the flow of experiencing is moving and seeming to shape itself. The moment remains the moment. This instant remains this instant regardless of how it looks, right? Regardless of its presentation. So it looks like everything. The flow of experiencing looks like whatever it looks like right now. This is the miracle of experiencing and how it looks right now. And in the next instant, it will look different, doesn't it? That's its dynamism. It does not look the same from moment to moment. It's not, it's alive. It's not holding still. It can look in some senses like a still, like a still picture, but it's really not, right? Everything is moving. The perceptions of this, the experiencing itself is moving. It's not holding still. But feel how there isn't anything, the constancy of this flow of experiencing. And again, that there's no departing from the flow of experiencing. There's no getting out of it. There's no losing this flow. This is the singular nature of everything, this flow of experiencing. Can look like pleasure, can look like pain, can look like joy and sorrow and beauty and ugliness, but it's all the flow of experiencing, isn't it? Notice how absolutely unpredictable the flow is. The next version of it that comes into view, not predictable in the slightest, right? Not at all controllable. Every instant, a complete surprise. Every instant never before perceived in this particular way. And you can look at anything, but sometimes looking at things where this is really obvious can help drive the point home again. If I turn the camera around one more time and show you the sea, you can see that. I mean, how many different ways is that looking from instant to instant? The shape that it's taking, the specific details are utterly unique in each instant. It's never the same shape, is it? Never the same form. And that's just like, well, experience. It's always unique. Wherever you are, which is likely a place that you feel as if you've been before, in your homes, let's say, wherever you happen to be right now. No. Because this space that you're in, which you think of, we tend to think of our spaces that we've visited before or even live in as somehow static, right? They're objective, they don't change really. Maybe over long periods of time, there's some kind of decay in the buildings, let's say, but the actual experience of the room you're in, the home you're in, the space you're in. I'm in a friend's home, which I've been in before many times, but I've never been in it like this. I've never seen it like this. I've never felt it like this. Our experience is ever fresh. It's never stale. It's always new. It never repeats. Feel that. That's not a concept. It's what we're feeling. We're feeling the ever fresh, ever new nature of it, right? In every instant. Which is wild because we actually, from that standpoint of experience itself, where is the reference point to know what this is? I could say I know what this is, but the minute I know what this is, it is no longer. I don't know what this experience is. I can't know what this experience is because it's no longer. It's gone. So my definitions are always of what was, apparently. Not what's here now, because what's here now can't be, I can't capture it because it's too quick. It's too fast to be captured. If I could just stop it for a moment. There it is. Now I've identified it. This bird just flew by. No, it's like, it's gone, just like that. But we can enjoy that movement. That is all there is to enjoy, is this unpredictable, ever-changing, ungraspable flow. I mean, that's what we have. If we try to enjoy something else, we're invariably going to become frustrated because this is the way that it is, which is it's dynamism. It's ever morphing, fluctuating, transforming nature, right? That's our experience. But there's so much, feel the freedom of that, the absolute freedom from any fixed identity, any fixed form, any fixed way that this is. It's transcendental. It transcends any fixed notions, any fixed ideas. And of course, you are included in that. What you are is this unfixed, transcendental, ungraspable flow. Always here, never absent. But as the flow, it's never the same. So it's always distinct, always different, always something else. We don't have to do anything to release the moment, to let go of the moment, it does it. That's what it does. It lets go spontaneously, doesn't it? Try to stop it from becoming something else. Try to hold it in place. You can't do it, right?